I left them downstairs, and I don't feel like going downstairs to get my glasses. And I have over like 7 pairs. I should leave some up here, but I just didn't feel like going downstairs. Don't make fun of my curtain in my room. I already told y'all I am not the aficionado of decorating. I have to get my niece or somebody to come up here and decorate. I'm just not a decorator. Okay, so what I want to talk about tonight is how to be a college professor. Okay, some of y'all may be interested in being a college professor. Okay, there's 2 or 3 different kinds. Okay, you have college, which is junior college, and I don't know if y'all can see that up enough. And then you have on the university level, and then now on the vocational level, you may have credentials. Let's start here. And your credentials could be different kinds of certifications, different kinds of licenses. You may have over 5 years in your field or career. You can have an associate's degree. You can have a bachelor's degree. And you can have a master's degree or a doctorate degree. Okay. Now, right here, this is level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3. Okay, so let me bring my camera up a little bit closer, you all can see it. I'm doing the best I can to see. I don't have my glasses on to see up close. I can see far as an eagle, but close. Anyway, so here we are, what I just talked about, right there. Okay. So, like I said before, I'm not an aficionado of recording. I'm still learning. So, on the vocational level, your vocational schools, your fast track schools, okay, those kind of schools. You go to school for 6 months, 9 months, less than a year, maybe even 2 years. You can work there with 5+ years experience, because you've already, pretty much mastered. You should have mastered what you went to school for, what you're about to teach. And you should have some sort of certification, such as certs, or those are your credentials, such as certs, a diploma of completion, and some licenses that speaks of your professional expertise. Right here, okay, good. You can teach with an associate's degree. You can teach with a bachelor's degree on a vocational level. You can teach with a master's or doctor's degree. The pay scale is pretty good, it's okay. But it's a good start if you're a person that have any of these degrees and you're trying to stay within the education field or make a career out of it. Okay, now I think I'm going to the second one. Second one is how to be a professor, and I kind of shortened professor at the end because I was running out of room. How to be a professor on a college level. These are your junior colleges. Like I'm in Houston, so I would say Houston Community College, Lone Star, San Jack, blah, blah, blah. Depends on what you're teaching. If you're teaching on continuing education, that's still considered like your vocational program. You can teach with 5+ years. And you can teach also with a master's or a PhD. But to teach on the credit side of things, you have to have a master's degree. You have to have some form of a doctorate degree, and it could be a PhD or whatever. And then the next level, which to me is the granddaddy of them all, how to be a university professor. And I hope y'all can catch this on the screen here because I'm not the best reporter. Master's with a certain amount of years of experience. It has to be like maybe 5 to 10 years experience plus. It depends on the university. Equal to career to float a doctorate degree. Okay, but you have to have a master's. Then you have to have on a university level a doctorate degree. Now, what's the difference between college and university? Well, university, you go there to get your bachelor's, your bachelor's degree, your 4-year degree. College, you go there to get either continuing education or your associate's degree. On the university level, you get your bachelor's, you get your master's, and you get your doctorate. Okay, after that, school is done. Unless you want to keep getting so many degrees on different levels. It's up to you and it's up to what financial aid will pay for. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, because sometimes they're not going to pay for extra same or similar doctorate degree. It has to be in something else for them to pay for your core courses, and I had to learn that. So anyway, so I hope you got those writings. If not, I will take a picture of it and put it in the link below. So now let's have a conversation. So teaching on a vocational level, teaching period. You have to know your audience. You have to know your audience. You have to know what's in your classroom, okay? And you have to know their learning style. You have to stay open to different learning styles. Not everyone is going to learn the same. Not everyone is going to retain the same. Not everyone is going to get it just like that. So you have to be a professor, and you have to know what level of a professor you are, and you have to know if you that type of professor that's comfortable explaining things over and over. Now, I'm not knocking professors who are irritated or agitated with repeating themselves. You have some, they just won't do it. And that's just who they are, sweetie. You're just going to have to learn how to work with that. Sorry. I'm, on the other hand, I'm comfortable with trying to work with you. I'm patient, I guess, because I've been teaching since 2001 as a substitute, and then teaching vocational since 2003, and then all the way off and on, in and out the field, and then teaching on the junior college level since 2017. Okay, so I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. My next goal is to teach on a university level. That's my next goal. But I love teaching, but I also love medicine. I also love healthcare at the same time. They're just both my loves. I can't help that. However, so you want to be a college professor. You have to send in your resume. Your resume have to look on point. You have to know how to talk in the interview. They're going to ask you how to demonstrate. Now, I'll do another video on how to do how can I say, we call it interview, like a showcase interview. And I'm trying to get the proper word for it, but the best way I could put it is a showcase interview. And a showcase interview is to show how you would present your information, to show how you would handle questions. How would you handle difficult questions? How would you handle questions that you may not know and understand, but then yet you need to research and find it? How would you handle questions that students are going to challenge you? And sometimes you may come across where you don't appear or sound as confident about it, but you know it, but you have to practice in the mirror, and I know that sounds vain, Tara. That sounds vain, Ms. Harper. No, it's not vain. It's to practice in the mirror to show how your facial expression is, how you're going to react. Body language speaks a whole lot. And I've dealt with kindergartners. I dealt with all grade levels. A kindergartner or high school, middle school, they could smell if you're not confident about what you're saying. Okay. And if you're always nervous, it gets better over time. You'll get better with nervousness. Don't stop teaching. Keep teaching until you get better. Practice in the mirror. Practice on how you want to explain things. I'm pretty animated, so I'm comfortable in my own skin of teaching. I'm an animated type teacher. I like to make you laugh at the same time. I may bust a rhyme and do a little rap song, or I'll make you dance with me while we learning together, because I feel if I'm going to spend 4 hours a day with you, 6 hours a day with you, 8 hours a day with you, doggone it, we're going to have some fun. I'm not going to make this boring. We're going to have some fun. Okay. But because I need to feel like my time is valued, and I want to feel like you are valued, and heard. And then if you're one of those teachers that you get students in your class that ask a lot of questions, you may have that one. It always take that one. Woo! It always take that one. Woo! Can we say it again? It always take that one. They just got to ask. And for me, it's not a problem. But you can feel the tension in the room when the student's like, and in their heads, they're like, hey man, you just said it. Aren't you paying attention? And sometimes she said, and I'm like, hey. So what I do to defray the tension in my room, I may tell the student, you know what, sweetie, let's have that conversation, just me and you. Let's have a one-on-one conversation about that. Sometimes either students don't know and they want to ask and they want to feel more comfortable having a discussion in their asking, and I don't mind that. And you have some that want to ask but too afraid to ask, but they'll stick around with the one that want to know. And then a lot of times you have some they want to ask, but they trying to draw negative attention to themselves. So you're going to have to learn how to digress that and say, okay, well, look, hey, write that on the parking lot. I usually give my students stickies. This is how I keep them from holding me up from teaching. I give them stickies, right? I may pass it around. Everybody take one or two. And if you have a question, then I have them to post it on my board. Question, or I may have them to come up and post it on my board. Be like, okay, here's a question. Somebody said, yada, yada. Or somebody may pass it up. Okay, here's a question. Somebody said, okay. Or Angela said, or David said, it kind of helps me know at the end of lecture, because I will tell a student, hold that thought, or put that on the parking lot, sticky. And then once I finish lecturing, then I will answer questions. Why do that? It's because when you go on the job in corporate America and you have what we had in the insurance industry, town hall meetings. Town hall meetings is all departments, whether you're a claims adjuster, claims examiner, data entry clerk, records keeper, supervisor, manager, director. We had town hall meetings. In those town hall meetings, you have an opportunity to talk and explain things. And when you give structures in the classroom like that, you're teaching them how to discipline themselves out there in public, because there is a certain decorum that you have to have about yourself in corporate America. There's a certain social etiquette, business etiquette that you need to have when you go out there in corporate America. So I try to incorporate disciplines like that so that you're prepared in a twofold situation. Number one, you're prepared in knowledge. Number two, you're prepared with classroom experience, and then you need to apply that. Okay, so that's how I do that. Now, what do you do when you have a student that wants to challenge you? Now, there's two kinds. You have some that want to challenge you because they don't know and they want to see how much you know. Love them. Those are ones I'm going to make you do some homework when you ask me certain questions. I'm going to make you go on Google, or I'm going to make you go on Google right then and there. I'm like, hey, let's go on Google. Everybody, let's go on Google. Google is your friend. The technology, I always say it to my students, they've been knowing it for years. Technology is a beautiful thing if you use it correctly. Okay? I mean, everybody use it for different reasons and whatever that interests them. That's great. But there are educational things out there that you can learn off the internet, off YouTube and other venues like that. Okay. So I make everyone learn how to utilize the internet in the classroom and how to find things appropriately in the classroom. And then we have a discussion. Why? Because it keeps students from texting or emailing me. Not that I don't mind, but when you get out there in corporate America and you have a question, it's good to take a notebook, a ledger. I usually like to give my students little bitty notebooks for them to write notes, right? This is a church ledger, but usually a good church ledger, some sort of ledger for you to, take notes of what you're learning on the job and all that wonderful stuff, right? Once you learn it, you should have had notes on it. Or you should have written it in such a way where you can remember what was said, right? So therefore, you can, how can I say, answer your questions right there. You're being self-sufficient. Okay. Everybody's not going to be like, let me go from my desk and ask this person. Let me go from my desk and ask this person. Asking 3 people has already taken 15 minutes away from your production time. Okay. So certain jobs, if you're in healthcare, now I'm in healthcare. I've been in healthcare since I was 17 years old. Okay. And I've been doing insurance industry claims for 12 years. Love it. Got promoted very well. Bonus checks very well. Love my money. Overtime, love it. And when you're on production hourly, they like to see how much you're producing, and if you're staying within the minimum of maximum, but in the middle, the median of meeting your production day by day. And if you're not, it better meet up at the end of the week. Okay, because sometimes you might have a bad day Tuesday, Wednesday, and you're doing 50 claims when you're supposed to be producing 80 claims a day. You just missed out on producing 30 claims a day. So what that means, you're going to have to take 30, divide by 3 or divide by 4, and make up those extra claims on those days to get your end of the week production. Because 80 claims times 5, that's 400 claims. Come Friday at 4:59:60, you better have 400 claims done. Then you start working your overtime. Okay. And there's different ways how to do the math on that. And that's a whole nother conversation. We'll talk about that later. However, so you have students like that. I like challenging students, but I like to give you homework to kind of figure it out and find it out for yourself. You need to learn how to be self-sufficient in finding your own information. I thought one friend of mine, when I was my first year in the insurance industry, in 95, this was like a few months after my father, not a few months, it was 5 months after my father had passed. And I just started this industry. I was so excited because I had a workers' comp adjuster's license at the time. And so I was doing the work. And then one of the ladies, and you know how we are, Black people, sometimes, our Caucasian friends or our white friends will try to show us stuff to help us to be self-sufficient. And the first thing come to my mind, she don't want to teach me. She just don't want to show me. And you take it all wrong. That's not it. I never saw it that way, but I could see both sides. But for me, she was sweet and she was friendly, but she was trying to show me, okay, Tara, I don't mind you asking me questions, but just like you, and she was a higher standard of a claims examiner. So I had 80 claims to do a day. She was paid to do 100 claims a day. So she had to meet her production. She didn't have time to stop and ask me questions all the time. Okay. So she had to be on point with 100 claims a day, time 5. She had 500 claims that need to be done come Friday, 459.60. Okay. So when she did, she finally said, I'm going to show you how to use this book. So it was like a manual. Her name was Jennifer. I'll never forget Jennifer. I loved her, love her to life. I wish I could see her. I don't know where to find her. But anyway, she showed me how to find any insurance memo or anything like that according to what account I was paying, what hospital, what facility I was paying. And she taught me how to be self-sufficient in finding my information. And I was grateful to her because it kept me from, hey, Jennifer. I mean, that'll get irritating after a while. A person don't mind, but on the 4th time, 5th time, they get kind of, so you're going to have to learn how to be open-minded when someone show you something and don't be offended. Oh my God. Did I say offended? Oh my God. If you're going to be offended, you need to get over it. Get over it, please. Thank you. Okay. Now, so anyway, so she taught me that. So I taught some of my friends and some of the claims examiners that came and sat with me. I taught them the same thing. And then I told them, when you still can't find it or don't quite understand it, then come ask me. But don't make it a habit because I still got to get my production, please. Okay? Those are called boundaries. Those are called respectable boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. There's nothing wrong with boundaries. It doesn't mean that I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be bothered. Oh, could you please stop? It doesn't mean that. It just means, at a point, you should catch the social cues of knowing that's enough. Not, So I don't mind sharing a person if a person lacks knowledge in that area. Then you need, to me, that's what that tells me as a teacher, as a professor, you need to be taught. Maybe you never got that before. There are some people who just never got that before. Now, there are the other challengers in the classroom that will challenge you to show you up in front of students. And I know the difference of those. Yes, I know those people too. And you know what I do with those? They want to show me up and they think they're the teacher. And oh my God, she teach and she make it look so easy. Okay, well, I'm going to give you an assignment. I'm going to have you on the next day. I want you to read this, read that. I want you to prepare a lecture. I want you to research it. Or I'm going to give it you the next day. You only have that evening to prepare it. And then when you get through, I want you to give a pop quiz. And then I want you to grade it. And then after you grade it, then I want you to pass it back out. Now, that's my method of teaching you a lesson. Mm-hmm. So when you do that and the students go to sleep on you, and I don't expect them to do it, but I want the person to think that just because on your side of the river it looks easy, on my side of the river it's work. It's virtue going out. I'm talking a lot. It takes energy to talk. It takes energy to write. I have to drink so much water just to catch my breath and get my mouth back lubricated. So it's not always as easy as it looks. Let me tell you something. Any job that looks easy, ask the person how long they've been in it. Or ask the person, how did you get comfortable like that? And let them tell you. So when I've had students like that to get up there and lecture, and a lot of times they get irritated if students are on the phone like this and you lecturing. You mean? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I put my phone down. And you still like, and the teacher has his back. Yeah, girl. I'd be glad when this teacher sit down. Why did Miss Harper let her get up? Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. It was my babysitter. I have to talk to her about my child. No, it wasn't your babysitter. You just want to be rude. Anyway, so then they get to see, and when they pass out their pop quiz, and a good percentage of the people that do well on a pop quiz, then you kind of questioning, well, Miss Harper gives pop quizzes. Yeah, I give pop quizzes because I have already assessed what kind of learner are you. Your body language is going to tell me. How you pay attention is going to tell me. There's a lot of derivatives that I look at, a lot of variables that I look at that's going to tell me what kind of folk I have in my audience. And that's going to already say, I need to modify the questions. I need to this, I need to that. And then some questions I might throw in there that may be a little bit more challenging. But I'm an essay person, so I'm going to always give you an essay. Oh, I love essay. Essay, I want you to give me clear, concise conversation, subject, verb, agreement, punctuations better be on point. And that's going to tell me what you know from what I taught you. You can filibuster all you want. I'm going to know you filibuster. I'm going to know. If you're using the terms that I use in the classroom, great. But I'm going to know that you're filibustering. And I'm going to know that you took the time to read and study and you care. Okay. That's just the heart of a teacher that cares. Okay. So you have the one that like to challenge you because they want to know, and you have the other one that like to challenge you because they just want to show you up in class and say, I'm a better teacher and I can teach that like Miss Harper. And then, okay, well, great. I'm going to give you some homework and you're going to be teacher of the day and you're going to make up the quiz and everything. Sister, brother. Yeah, I'm going to get you. And then you be like, oh, yeah, sit down. Bow down for the sit down, please, because if you're ready, the teacher will appear. If you're not ready, I'm going to put you in a teacher's place. You don't like that. Okay, then that means you need to be the student so I can appear as the teacher. If you don't want to do that, then you can go. I don't fight over folk. I ain't gonna beg you to listen. I'm a nice person, but I know when I had enough of you. I had a one-on-one conversation. Then I'm a document. And then I might take it up to the next level because I'm known as document queen. Oh, baby, I will document you. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I'm one of them. Okay. All right. My phone battery is going low, so let me put up my phone here. Okay. So now you must have your syllabus ready. You must be ready for the conversation of the day. You must know what you want to talk about. You must already kind of like pre-study it the night before. And teachers, if you're going to give out assignments or online assignments, please study your answer keys. Because some students are going to have questions and they're going to be like, well, this is kind of confusing and this kind of says this versus this kind of says that, but I don't know how to tell the difference. Well, honey, the answer is this. And you have to speak on confidence why the answer is so and explain why the answer is so. So always study your answer keys of your tests, your quizzes, your assignments, whatever you give out, always study your answer keys. It's the same thing with teaching math. I teach math too, but that's a whole nother conversation. I'm going to always study my formulas. I'm going to always study why this happened, how that happened, how do we get to this answer. I'm going to study different methods and ways of how you can come to that answer, how you can think about that answer. And then it's going to always show back this way, because sometimes different ways of how you get the answer may not work for everybody in the classroom. So teachers, when you're going to be a college professor, pre-study what you're going to teach for the day. And what you teach for the day could be 2 or 3 pages. Sometimes it could be 1 page and you're just having a glorious conversation. And sometimes enjoy what you're talking about, but also stay on task. Watch your clock. Like when I lecture online, I see my clock right here is fuzzy right now because I don't have my glasses to look at it, but I could tell my clock's supposed to be right there. And I'll judge the time of how long, and I let students have their breaks. Sometimes you can talk and then I'll say, okay, we're digressing, students. We're digressing. We're enjoying ourselves, but we're digressing. Let's move on to the next paragraph or the next page. Okay, that's how you do that. Always harness your control back to you. Sometimes students get carried away, and that's great, but always find a way to harness the control back to you. Let them know that you're digressing. We're having a great time. Hey, go back. Hey, let's get back on track. I treat it like a coaching, like a gym kind of thing, like we playing basketball, we playing volleyball, okay, and we're having a good time. Okay, hey, focus. Everybody back in their spot. You know your spot. Get back in your spot, and that's how I do that. I love teaching. Make sure you have everything ready. Make sure you know your students by name. And I have my students, sometimes, a lot of times when they come into the classroom, 9 times, well, not 9, let me say 7. 7 times out of 10, they're going to always sit in that same spot. And I make it a habit. And once I learn them on the first day, and then I'll be like, now, what's your name, baby? Oh, yeah. So I learned, okay, she sit there, he sit there, she sit there, I always sit right here. And because this is the one that got 50,000 questions, he just ain't gonna go nowhere. So I know who you are. I always know, what's your personal policy? No cussing, no drinking, no loud outbursts. Don't disrespect another student. If you have to have it on your wall, the 10 commandments of Miss Harper's class, have that up there. And then don't be afraid to ask a student to step out. I need you to step out so I can finish teaching, because you'll be under distraction to the class. Hey, this grown folk institution, I just ask you to be responsible and get up and step out, please. We're not going to have a contest about this. Usually I say we're not going to have a pissing contest. That's the truth. We're not going to have a pissing contest about this. I'm asking you to step out. And when you calm down, you can come back in, but you're going to have to keep it quiet. Okay. And it's hard. I'm one of the sweet-natured type teachers, but then I can go left. So I don't like going left. I like to stay in the middle and stay right side happy. Yes, happy. But don't make me go left. Please don't do that. So now you're probably saying, "Oh, she's crazy." No, I'm not crazy. I just like to have fun. Oh, she's mean. No, I'm not mean. I just mean well. Okay, so that's how we do. So that's all I have. Right now, look like 32 minutes on the clock here, and we still counting, going on 33. Yeah, 33 minutes. Okay, so there's so much for my live session. If you have any other questions for me, again, my name is Tara Harper. I'm going to do better by checking my emails, because I get a lot of email bells right there. I can see it real fuzzy like. Or you can email me best at TCHOD, that's T as in Tom, H as in Harry, C as in cat, OD as in David, at hotmail.com. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.